Well, I know our kids and our fans are excited about opening SEC play here at home. Obviously, we've come off on a opening on the road with a big win and against a really good team in Georgia. Joni's done a great job there, and I just thought our kids really played well there on Sunday afternoon. Again, our fans showed up very loud and proud, and they had a big impact on, I think, how we played. But tomorrow night, got a team coming in that's very well coached. They've got an Arkansas guy now who's so prideful of that state and that university, coached them now, and Mike Neighbors, who I've known for a long time, coached at Washington last year when we played them in the Sweet 16, and so they're playing so much better, play well together. A lot of really good chemistry, led by one of the top guards in our league in Malcolm Monk. She really dictates a lot of things that they do, and she's good at it. And so she's got some weapons around her that can shoot it if you come off and try to help on her. So we've got our hands full. We're going to need a good crowd, and we're going to need to play well. They're coming off a big home win against Mississippi on Sunday in their conference opener at home, so they'll come in here with a lot of confidence.
Ro, can you talk about, Coach called SEC a grind upstairs in the luncheon, just from your perspective, just night in and night out, what kind of challenges does this league bring to everybody?
I think every night's going to be a challenge. It's just about how well you prepare and how you go out there and whether you punch first or not. But every night's a challenge in the SEC.
Morgan, Coach called timeout like at the first minute, threw his jacket. He wasn't very happy the other night. Y'all seemed to respond pretty well to whatever he said. What was his message after y'all started in that game? Y'all got down a couple of buckets.
Basically, he was very upset with us. You know, we have been starting our games pretty well. So for us to go out there and get punched in the mouth first, it's just not us. We don't want to do that. We want to punch first every game and stay like that. But I think we responded well. And most of from that message I got is from, we got 4 seniors out there on the court. It shouldn't happen. So we got to do better.
Morgan, you talked about Coach hoping that you guys were going to take some more charges. You guys took several charges against Georgia. Do you feel that the team is working closer to getting to where he would like you guys to be in terms of that aspect of it?
I think they're doing better in practice and helps I get the charges, so I think it's carrying on to the game. But I still think he wants more. He don't always want more anyway, so I'm glad we're back taking charges. Somebody get beat, drop, rotate, get charged. That's the beauty of our defense. So we're trying to get back there as we were and just build from here.
Ro, the team has a scoring margin of 31-4. I think that's in the top 5 in the nation. How do you feel that defensively you guys are getting closer to where Coach wants you guys to be, or because I'm sure that everybody's looking at 86-4 and saying, oh my God, you guys are an offensive juggernaut, but defensively, how much do you guys want to get closer to where Coach wants you guys?
I think we're getting closer. It's just about a matter of time of how much you put in and how dedicated you are to the defense, because that's what we hang our hats on. And so just working on it every day, we're getting better day by day.
What areas do you think that you guys are improving?
On the defensive end? Helping the helper. I think we're getting better than where we started. So I think that's where we're getting better at. And I feel like help side and taking charges, we're starting to try to do that more.
Just add on, I think we're doing better. We're getting better at blocking out. I know earlier, we had this chart where we get blockouts and stuff. I feel like people's numbers, getting lower from previous years. I know my number has dropped tremendously, so I just try to block out, and I need to go rebound more.
The coaches keep that chart?
Yes, sir. Coach Jackson.
Would you get a plus for a box out and a minus for a...
No, every missed block out, you got to do that, make up for it in practice.
Like a set of stadium stairs or...
No, we do block out drill with the guys. We got to block out many every time we miss. I used to have like 20 in these blockouts last year. Now I'm under 10, under 7, so I dropped a lot.
Safe to say you learned your lesson.
Something like that.
Any other questions from players?
Road the Arkansas game, obviously you're from Arkansas, you always kind of keep your mind on that when it comes around, kind of gets your attention a little bit.
I just look at it as any other game, just going out and preparing like any other game and staying focused and basically doing what my team and the coaches want me to do, nothing specific.
All right, thanks, Bud. Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, guys.
All right, questions for Coach?
Vic, it seems like Tierra is impacting the game more than just getting a rebound or points, whatever. It seems like she's in on every play. She's tipping the ball around, saving it. Just how much have you felt like she's improved the last year from, I mean, even coming off the bench and starting? Just what have been some of the biggest areas you've seen her improve?
Well, I think she, as you said, her impacting the game on both ends of the floor is becoming more and more dramatic. I mean, I think she's involved in so many plays in a ball game. Her ability to make good decisions and not do, not commit a silly foul and not fall into a tussle match with somebody and then you end up being the one penalized. I just think she's getting smarter, wiser, and then the other piece is just her pure development. I mean, I'm not sure that I've seen a bigger transformation and development of a young lady at her position in my career. And again, she's got tons of way to go. I mean, she can still get so much better. But just where she is today, I couldn't be more proud of her. I know the time that she's put in with it. I know the time Coach Harris has put in with her. With a post player, it's not just the skill set that's really important in the development of an inside player. They're the ones that are down there bailing out guards when they get beat off the bounce. They're the ones down there having to deal with somebody else's big person. They're laying on people. People are laying on them. They're having to go up in traffic, get rebounds. They're supposed to run down the floor and be the first one down. And then, oh, by the way, okay, I ran down the floor and the guard didn't get me the ball. So that's a mental thing that sometimes you have to overcome because, quite frankly, guards aren't going to see you every time. It doesn't matter if you're 6'7". Sometimes they're not going to feel good about throwing it to you or they just don't see you. So the mental piece for a big guy or girl, guys coach will tell you the same thing. They're down there doing a lot of the dirty work and the grunt work and then they run to the other end of the floor and they might be wide open and you don't throw them the ball. That can be a real challenge for people, but she's really handling that well as well. She's learned to pass the ball. A lot of big kids, you play to them, but you can't play through them. We can play through T. She's a really good passer. She really sees the floor well. She understands where the double team's coming from and where it needs to go. So again, the overall improvement and growth of her mentally as well as physically is really astounding, and I'm really quite proud of her.
You say it's astounding. Did you kind of, in your vision for her when you recruited her, I know she was highly ranked, could you see her becoming, a 20 and 13 player? Could you see that when you saw her in high school, or is this still kind of a little surprising that she's getting to this point, especially junior year?
Yeah, and doing it really, about halfway through, her junior year. It's not like she's doing it toward the end. A lot of times for big guys and girls, their development takes a little longer. And I think for her, she's really come on really fast here in the last, year. Going back to this time last year, she had a big game against Florida here at home. They went 12 for 13. And like I told y'all, I could have started the kid midway through the SEC. She deserved to play and had earned that right, but I wanted her to get Sixth Player of the Year because she'd already done it for half of the season. And so I left her coming off the bench, which is great. I mean, she was a pretty good sixth player going off your first sub coming off the bench. So, you know, I just think that, again, she's nowhere close to her top end. I still think she's got a long way to go, and that is good for her and bad for people she's going to go against.
Early in the season, you had some concerns about your bench, kind of production you were getting out of them. You've been able to play them a lot more minutes over the last few games. Have you seen improvements in that area?
Absolutely. Getting Jordan eligible is big for us. That's helped us tremendously. Chloe's been a big addition for us, and we need to continue to work with her and get her where she can really contribute. You know, here's the thing about my team, y'all. None of them want to come off the floor. Tori don't want to sit down. Tiara don't like coming out. You know, Blair's the Energizer Bunny. She never gets tired. Morgan and Jazz, their motors are so good at such a high level, and they've been hamming and egging it pretty good at the point spot. Jazz has just been spectacular for us this year. Again, I would go another step and say that she has improved a great deal since her freshman year. And you know, she's impacting our team tremendously and impacting every game that we're in. She's come in and been that juice, that energy, that, you know, just Morgan's fast, and she comes in and she's just one step faster, you know. And so she's really impacted our team as well. So, and our young kids are coming. I mean, I think Bree and I both have improved. They're nowhere where they were 2 months ago, and they'll be better in a month. So both those kids I've had confidence in. I've played them a little bit, and they'll continue to get some valuable minutes.
I know you're just one game in, and you probably hadn't had a whole lot of time to see a lot of other SEC teams, but you called it a grind upstairs about what you're going to face during the rest of the year. Can you just elaborate on that and what you anticipate?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You know, these 2 months are the worst 2 months of my life every year. I mean, it's just it's such a drain. You know, you have to be careful. You know, when you have these teams that are successful, you need to try to enjoy it a little bit as a coach, and sometimes you're just on to the next one. And that's kind of been me over the last few years. I'm just on to the next one. We'll play tomorrow night, and when I go home, I'll have LSU in hand, and we'll be getting all ready for the next one. So, you know, this time of year, 2 rival games every week. We got 16 rival games in this league. And you're playing the best of the best. You're coaching against the best of the best. This conference is, you know, I always say it, it's what AAA baseball is in Major League. I mean, you're going to see these kids, same kids playing in the WNBA in the years to come. You're going to see these coaches in the Hall of Fame in the years to come. And again, you play bad in this league, you aren't going to get beat. You're going to get embarrassed. But that's the fishbowl we choose to live in, and it's exciting to be a part of it. You know, it's exciting to be a part of it, and exciting to have an impact in it.
Do you think the team's success offensively is overshadowing the defensive part of it?
Well, it's not overshadowing it to me because it continues to be a focal point for me. I think it's certainly a perspective or you can't get past it. I mean, the fact that we're averaging 86 a night, you know, and have done it against pretty good people, is certainly noteworthy. I think, you know, if we're sitting here at the end of February and we're still averaging 86 a night, you know, we're probably having a pretty special year. So defensively, again, I think that defense travels. I think there's going to be a night or two where your offense may struggle a little bit. I think the thing that we have is that hopefully not everybody's going to be struggling because we have so many weapons. And so on a night when somebody might not shoot it that well, you got somebody else picking it up. Just like we started the Georgia game the other night, we couldn't throw it in the ocean if we were standing on the beach at high tide. But Tierra was cleaning it up and really carried us early. And then Torrey had 5 points in the last minute, and then we took off. Rowe got hot in the third quarter and really gave us a boost. And when you got kids that can do what we do, it can get away from you in a hurry.
Compared to previous teams that you've had here, I know that there's a difference in the skill level of the players. I'm sure that's a component of it, but the unselfishness that this group has, you've talked about the chemistry, but does the unselfishness necessarily, well, obviously better players, you could argue, are going to make more shots, so I understand that, but does the unselfishness, is that something that is necessarily just based on better players? Because this team had 9 straight assists on made baskets against Georgia, and in your time here, I don't remember that ever being the case. Now, it requires players who can make the shots, yes, but there seems to be a willingness for the kids to share the wealth, so to speak.
Well, first of all, last year's teams and those teams before were very unselfish. That there wasn't. Those teams all played extremely well together. I think again the difference in our team now is that from an offensive skill set wise, I just think we're a little better. That's it. From an offensive skill set wise, do I miss Dominique and Katera defensively? Absolutely. I mean, those two great help defenders, charge takers, tough rebounders. I absolutely miss that. But, from a standpoint of, just pure offense, adding the extra shooter on the floor at the wing, adding the Victoria at the 4, it just is, it's a different dynamic. And so it just makes us different. It's yet to be decided if we're better. We're just scoring more points. That's where we are right now. I don't know if we're better or not. But I think both, years past, man, I love those teams. I love how tough those kids were and how, just their competitive spirit. I mean, that's hard to replace. I think what we are is we just have a few more shooters on the floor right now surrounding T. And T's better also. You can't overlook the fact that she is a much better basketball player.
With Jordan facing her former team, do you have to say anything extra to her tomorrow night before the game starts?
I don't think so. Again, it's not her coach. Yeah, she knows some kids on that team, but there's some other kids that were on that team too that aren't there too. So I just think it was a different time, a different day. We're just glad she's on our team. I'm excited for her. She's going to be getting more and more minutes as the year goes on. I'm glad we got her. I'm glad she's got eligible midterms able to help us.
Given the amount of improvement that you've talked about for a lot of your players, and especially some of the younger ones too, is there maybe a little voice in the back of your head that gives you reason to feel that this team can get even raise a higher level, in the sense, obviously you're 15-0, but you always want better. You always want more from the kids. That they see that, and that's going to be something that motivates them to raise their games even higher.
Well, Adam, that's $1 million question. You always want them to. You always want them to want more. You always want them to understand how special and how what the opportunity is. But kids are kids. Sometimes it's you don't know what sometimes they're thinking, and And so, you know, that has to do with your maturity. That has to do with your leadership. Those were the two keys I told y'all when we started this back in September and October. Those were going to be the two keys to how good a year we have. So that is continues to be a work in progress for us.
So far, so good, though, right?
I would just say it continues to be a work in progress for us. You know, I continue to try to teach and coach other things besides X's and O's. But that's part of it. That's part of what we do. And I don't think you throw your hands up and go, they just don't get it. I don't think you quit on that. I think that's part of what we do as coaches. I don't care what sport it is. You're trying to develop young people and get them ready for the real world. And while you're doing that, you're hoping that you can get that through, and that'll help you win games. And it'll help you win big games. And the faster that they get it. As I told them, I think the other day in practice, sometimes they don't get it until 2, 3, 5 years down the line, and then they call me up and go, you know what, Coach, you were right. You know, I just didn't get it at the time, but I get it now. I've got this job, I'm coaching this team. They do the same thing to me that we did to you, and I get it, you know, and that's the beauty of what we do. You just hope they get it while they're here, because that'll allow them to really be successful.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
All right.